She's beautiful, isn't she? Table Mountain. Standing here, you feel so connected to the environment. I almost want to smoke fynbos and start going, incredible. And then you look at the city of Cape Town. The battle between man and nature couldn't be showcased more beautifully. If you listen, you can actually hear those battle cries. Calm, quiet from nature, tweeting of the birds with that drone and din from the city as we battle for space, congestion, traffic. So I'm confused because the motoring world declared the SUV an outlaw. We were meant to be driving small, compact, fuel-efficient cars like Kia's Picanto. Why didn't we? Is it because maybe back then they weren't that cool for our status, they didn't look that great, and they were rather rudimentary and simple? Has Kia changed that with their new Picanto?
Actually, Kia had already started moving up market with the styling of the previous generation Picanto, and the new one represents a continuation of that theme. The frontal treatment is similar to that of the Rio, yet it manages to look more cohesive on the smaller car.
She certainly looks good, but I tell you what I really appreciate is that Kia hasn't done what most manufacturers do. Take a popular car and then upscale it. In actual fact, the all-new Picanto is exactly the same footprint as the previous generation. But what is significant is that they've lengthened the wheelbase, they've shortened the front overhangs, lengthened the rear, and what does that give you? For passengers inside the car, better leg and headroom, and significantly the boot has been improved from 200 litres to 255 litres. It's got a pretty nifty double tray as well, so you can drop it down to maximise your boot, or you can use it as an additional storage area. Drop those seats forward with one quick release and you've got just over 1,000 litres of practical usable space.
We've been blown away by the interiors in the current crop of Kia products, and the Picanto is no exception. It sports a user-friendly layout, a high standard of fit and finish, and of course a large touchscreen, which not only brings all the major functions to your fingertips, but also makes connecting to your phone as simple as, well, plug and play. There's also an assortment of useful storage areas around the cabin, and even a center cubby with sliding lid, albeit on high-spec models only.
I know we raved on about the interior configuration and layout of the new Picanto. What I enjoy from a driving perspective is they've actually raised the dash by 15 mils, which gives me better knee room. The steering rack has also been replaced. It's got a quicker ratio now, so any steering inputs, the car's going to respond to a lot quicker, and it gives it an insane turning circle, which is exactly what you need for a city runabout. I just also love the look of the wheel. It's very sporty, it's got a nice feel to it, and the multifunction wheel in the higher spec really puts every button at your fingertips. The engines remain the same, 1 litre, 1.2 litre. The 1 litre is producing just under 50 kilowatts and 96 newton meters. The 1.2 litre is going to give you 61 kilowatts and 122 newton meters. The engineers will tell you that they've worked on the exhaust manifold and they've worked on the variable valve timing to make the power delivery a lot better and obviously make the cars more efficient. Picanto comes with a 5-speed manual and in some of the models a 4-speed auto. The top spec Weo only has a 5-speed manual. I really enjoy the feel of the gearbox and it really does work well with this engine. You can get the most out of it, but obviously good that they do have an auto, because as a city car you're going to want to have that convenience when you're sitting in bumper to bumper traffic. They've also used a lot more high tensile steel in this car, and that's given it a lot better torsional rigidity. They're talking some 30% improvement as well. But all around, from a driving perspective for me, it just feels like a way better planted product. A lot of that has to do with the longer wheelbase. They've extended that so it's more sure-footed. They've also done some work with the anti-roll bars. They've changed the position and they've also firmed them up. So instead of making a change to the springs and making it too choppy, they've just improved the dynamic feel of the car. What I like as well is how quiet the interior is. Kia will tell you they've spent a lot of time and money on their noise, vibration, and harshness. They've put in a lot of soundproofing, so whether you're driving or in idle mode, it's probably one of the quietest A-segment interiors that you'll be in. I really do like what Kia have done with the all-new Picanto by broadening the appeal. There are now 8 derivatives across the model range, starting at 135,000, heading up to 195 in the top spec that we are in. Now I know my motoring journos are going to be jumping up and down, stamping their feet, saying, but how can you have a car on the market without ABS and without airbags? That's the entry-level car at 135,000 Rand. But what they fail to remember is that this segment is very, very price sensitive, and all you have to do is look at our popular cars like the Renault Kwid and the Datsun Go. The biggest challenge, I think, for the brand though is competing with those sub-B segment cars. We're talking the Vivos and the Yaris's that offer a slightly bigger car, but you need to remember it's way older technology. And Kia again has been smart in terms of how they've reconfigured their interior. Having a bigger boot really does bridge that gap for them. But this is a car that's got a fresh, cool interior. It's got bold styling. It's a car that I think you now would be happy to be seen driving in.